Welcome to Book Tease. I'm your host, Jamie, and this is the podcast that celebrates the power of well-written smut. July is our Sizzling Summer series, and we are looking for rom-coms. We're looking for fun. We're looking for, a sizzle. And usually this is where I would go ahead and tell you that this podcast contains spoilers, and I spoil the whole damn book in the episode. That is usually what I would say. However, I cannot claim that for this week because I DNF'd this book. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, first of all, let me go ahead and tell you what the book is. We are supposed to be covering Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. And this book was recommended to me. Abby Jimenez, period, has been recommended all over the place, not just personally to me, but if you're a romance reader, you have seen this cover, you have seen her name, you have been told she is like the current romance author to read. And I hadn't read any of her books. So I was like beside myself, excited, like, okay, I'm fucking doing it. I'm reading an Abby Jimenez book. I can't wait. This one was billed as witty and perfect beach read for the summer. And I was like, perfect for a Sizzling Summer series, right? Here's a few things that people have said about this book, just to prove that I'm probably in the wrong camp, I guess. I am not in the popular camp. Please don't fight me for my feelings on this book. I'm not saying it's something you shouldn't read. Clearly, people disagree. Clearly, I am the minority here in not liking it. And I'm totally going to get into it. I mean, do not fret. So this book was named one of the top 10 best summer romance books of all time. She is a New York Times bestseller. This book is a New York Times bestseller. And it is a Good Morning America book club pick. It has been called witty. It has been called the ideal beach read. But I DNF'd at 51%. Actually, 52%. Give me that one more percent there. I tried. I could not get into it. And I know some people are totally against DNFing a book. I know that. I'm not one of those people. Life is way too short. And I've said this before on other things. Life is entirely too short to do something that does not bring you joy. Especially if it's something you don't absolutely have to do. I know that there's some things in life you have to do that don't bring you joy. I don't get joy from paying taxes. I don't get joy from doing certain chores or from cleaning. There are some things you have to do that don't bring you joy. Everything else, though, like how you spend your downtime, what you do as a pastime, things you don't have to do to bring you money or to survive. Those things should bring you joy. And if they don't, fucking don't do it. Okay? If you don't have to, don't do it. That's just my feeling. And I really tried to enjoy this book. I really did try to see what the fuss was about, but it was boring to me. Sorry, I said it. It was fucking boring. There was drama just for the sake of drama. Okay, let me get into what the book's about, the kind of plot line. And again, this isn't really a spoiler. I will throw some spoilers out there when I get into kind of what I didn't like about it, but this is not really a spoiler. You can read that this is what this book is about. So it's Justin and Emma. Emma is a traveling nurse, and she has a very complicated relationship with her mother. And then Justin is billed to us as a very witty, boy next door type, and he does like software sales or something, and he posts on a Am I the Asshole Reddit thread, which those are funny. Sometimes I like to read them and I'm like, yes, sir, you are the asshole. Or, nah, you get a pass for that. He posts a thing about, am I the asshole? My friend Brad, Chad, whatever, one of those names, he fell in love and got with a chick and skipped out on rent or got out of our lease, and I was left with rent I could not afford, and so I moved into another place, and then they have a weird toilet advertisement right in my window, but it's cheaper, so that's what I'm doing. And so I got an ugly dog and named him right after my friend. That's that was what his asshole thread was, in which case I say no. Neither one of you, I mean, both of you are kind of the asshole, which I guess equals each other out. Question mark. What made the thread go viral and starts this whole book off is that he mentioned he has a curse where whoever he dates ends up finding the love of her life after they break up. In fact, Brad's fiance, girlfriend, whatever, that he has to move in with and is totally infatuated with is an ex-girlfriend of Justin. Now, they weren't serious. They went on a few dates, shared a kiss that wasn't good, and called it quits. But then she met Brad, and she was Twitter pated, and now they're totally in love. So that's his dilemma. That's his curse. And that seems like a very hilarious premise for a book, especially given that Emma shares the same curse. Whoever she dates ends up finding their soulmate after they break up. She also doesn't really date a lot or seriously, considering she's a traveling nurse and she's always in the process of leaving or she's about to leave. So there's also that. But her friend kind of negs her into message this guy. This sounds funny. Like, you have the same curse. Just see what's up. Like, how funny. He's so cute, blah, blah, blah. And so they do, or she does. And then she slides into his DMs. And then Justin and Emma start this friendly conversations about their curse and just in general, life in general. And they end up, like, she's like, I'm really intrigued by this dude. I really like him. I think he's adorable. He's so much fun to talk to. So she decides for her next assignment, she is going to go to Minnesota to try things out with Justin. Especially since Justin's friends, the Chad, Brad group, whatever, talk him into it by saying, hey, man, she has the same curse that you do. If y'all were to date, it would then cancel the curse out, right? So she date you, you date her, and whoever y'all's respective curses will work on each other, and then whoever you date next will be your soulmate. And same for her. What's it to lose? Either that or it'll cancel it out and it won't be an issue anymore because the magic of the universe will just cancel it out, I guess. I don't know the rationale, but he likes her anyway and she likes him anyway. So they're like, well, fuck it. Why not? Let's just give this a roll. So off she goes to Minnesota for the summer, only for the summer, hence the title. And it's like a 3-month assignment. And she gets a private island on Lake Minnetonka. It's this really tiny island with the house on it, and she's super pumped about it. Well, y'all, I can't even, because this all sounds like a really great book, right? The plot sounds hilarious. There's plenty of room for craziness and misadventures and sexiness and all the things. That's not what we get Okay, I'm just going to tell you now, this is not a rom-com. This is not what we get. Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into why I DNF the book. I am not a fan of Nicholas Sparks. What does that have to do with Abby Jimenez, you may ask? Well, quite a bit, actually. Both of them write drama for the sake of it, is what I call it. It is writing a book to depress your reader, to pull emotion, stuff that's totally improbable, like just things happening for the fucking sake of it, like putting your characters through it, man. It's like you can't have one scene happen without some shit going down. I hate that. I am not reading to be depressed. I am not reading a book for, there's enough drama and craziness in real life. And yes, you could put drama and craziness in a book, but when every single scene is having something dramatic happening, something heavy happening, something sad, or just like, I can't. I cannot do that. I do not want to do that. I do not want to read a book that's like, oh, they overcome all this and now she has cancer, which is a very Nicholas Sparks thing. And now I honestly wouldn't be surprised if 70% into this book, suddenly one of them finds out they have a terminal illness. I would be like, well, that sounds right, because that's what's going on thus far. So now we're going to get into some spoiler territory. She has a tumultuous relationship with her mother. I've already talked about that. Very complicated relationship. It is a highly complicated relationship, actually. Her mother was described as toxic in the book summary. She has an undiagnosed mental illness. She ignores her largely. She forgets she has a daughter sometimes. She is almost bipolar or something. I'm not sure what the mental illness is. However, she has these high highs and then she just disappears. She is very selfish, like narcissistic. She just tends to just go off and do her own thing and forget she has a kid. She left her alone multiple times as a child with like no money, nothing. So Emma was like going hungry, and then she got put in the foster care system, and that's how she met her best friend, who is a traveling nurse and goes around with her. Her best friend was one of the foster families. And yeah, but Emma is constantly feeling the need to defend and forgive her mother no matter what happens, and she just kind of disappears for long periods of time and then just shows up and demands attention once she does show up, and it's very ridiculous. So her mother contacts her out of the nowhere and is like, I found this old stuffed animal that you used to love. Give me your address so I can mail it to you. Only when Emma gives her the address to the Minnesota house that she's not even in yet, but that's where she's going to be, her mother randomly shows up. She just shows up. Oh, I missed you. I want to spend some time with you. Read as she is in between homes or whatever and has just remembered she has a daughter, so she wants to show up. Anyway, her mother ends up hooking up with what turns out to be Emma's boss for the summer. He's a surgeon, really smart surgeon, really up there. And anyway, he's known for being an ass. However, he is loving Emma's mom and immediately has her move into his house and all the things. So I don't fucking know. But I know Emma and her friend show up at work the next day, and they find out that, oh, that guy is actually our boss, and he's known for being a dick, but he's being nice to us. And oh, great. As soon as things pop off with mom and she disappears or she fucks up things, we're going to have to deal with it for the rest of the summer, the rest of the time there. Is there a long time frame of consequence? Not really. It's treated like this is the fucking most horrible thing that could happen, but it's really, you're just there for 3 months. So even if things go totally sideways, I'm sure they've been in worse situations being as they're traveling nurses and dealing with people who are high up in the medical field. The smarter someone tends to be, especially in a field like that where you're quote unquote playing God, they tend to be narcissistic assholes sometimes. Not always, but it does happen. So I'm sure they've had to deal with this before. But we're going to put that to the side because it is treated like the worst possible thing that can happen, especially given that they are also renting from this man. The cottage that they're staying in on that little island all belongs to this man. So when her mother randomly shows up and now she's shacking up with this guy and all the things, they're like, well, shit, he is our landlord and our boss. This is probably a bad idea. Now Justin has his own shit going on. We don't find out exactly what his mother did, but apparently she is going to jail soon. They gave her time to get her affairs in order, and then she has to turn herself in on a specific date, and then she's going to jail. We find out what she did was she was working for a nonprofit, and after his father died, she, in her depression, I guess, decided to embezzle money from the firm she worked with. So now she has to go to jail, which means Justin has to take custody of his 3 siblings, ranging in ages from like 5 to 16-ish. He's in his 20s, so I guess get it, Mom. She's still having kids. Like, I don't know. Anyway, his dad died, and that's what his mother did, and now she has to go to jail. And so he's dealing with this, oh my God, I'm about to have to be a single parent to my siblings, and it's a lot. And anyway, they are getting closer and closer, but at 51% in the book, the most we've gotten is a forehead kiss. A ton of dramatic conversation. Like, even their first date was like heavy conversation, trauma dumping, just like, yeah. I'm telling you, that sounds like my personal fucking nightmare. If I go on a date with a dude and then we end up trauma dumping the whole time and just talking about heavy stuff that's currently going down in our lives, I'm not gonna go on a second date, y'all. I am going to nope out. I am going to say, I'm so sorry. It seems like we both have too much going on in our respective lives to continue this. I'm not doing it. And maybe that's my own personal baggage, but that just sounds horrible. And I don't get why this book is termed as witty when I was getting no wit. There was a very little in the book that I was like, oh, and again, only to like 52%. Maybe the second half is a fucking riot and I'm just missing out. Given how it was written thus far, I don't think that's the case. It was very dialogue heavy and very play by play. Like, she's in a conversation and it's like, and then I paused, and then I painted my nail as I waited for his response, and then I looked up and, oh, I didn't want to FaceTime because I have a towel. I just got out of the I mean, like, stuff like that. We are going play by play, and it's just like, oh my God. Even her friendship with her quote unquote best friend seems very fraught with drama. And her friend is big on the tough love. And honestly, I love that in a friendship. I think it's needed. You need someone who's going to be honest with you no matter what. But if that's all y'all got, where is the fun part of the friendship here? Like, her friend just seemed intense. Anyway, the best part of this book so far, at the 52% where I gave up, is Justin's mom's friendship with her best friend Lee. they're hilarious. They get drunk. Leah's like fully supporting her. She's like, I'm going to show up at prison every other day and rub my boobs on the glass for you. We're going to get through this, babe. Like, her friend is awesome. And that just happens to be Chad Brad's mom, too. And so she's giving Justin shit about how he needs to rename his ugly dog. I mean, that's a wrap on that. I can't, and I won't rate the book. I don't think it's fair for me to rate the book because I didn't finish it. In considering I didn't finish it, that pretty much gives my opinion, right? So I was just too bummed out to continue. I got to where his mother went to jail. I read about how Emma doesn't want to continue a relationship really, even though she's really feeling him because he's going to be a single parent. He's taking custody of his siblings. And how the 5-year-old little girl's crying every night for her mom who just went to jail. And how that's a bother to Justin or upsetting Justin because, oh, my life is so changed and I have to deal with this. She's the one you need to be concerned about. She's 5 and she just lost her mom for however long she's going to be in jail. That is traumatizing. But, I get that you are in your own feelings about the whole situation. But, I mean, my God. Christine, Justin's mom, and Lee are hilarious, though. They get drunk the night before she has to go to jail, and they, rescue some raccoons and get banned from Uber. I mean, they're great. That's the best part of the book. I'm assuming, considering this is supposed to be a wonderful romance novel, that they overcome all the dramas. There's probably more dramas, but they overcome enough to have this very meaningful relationship and blah, blah, blah. And maybe they actually kiss. Fuck if I know. All I know, 52% in, and he just kissed you on the forehead. You can fucking miss me with that, okay? I'm sorry. So I will rate the spice as a solid none. At least 52% in, we have a big fat 0 of a spice, so... Emma has a favorite quote that she says constantly. And again, halfway into the book, we've heard this same quote multiple times. It's how she lives her life, how she justifies constantly forgiving her mother, how she has dealt with all of the traumas in her past. And her favorite quote is, if you can choose anger or empathy, always choose empathy. I don't necessarily agree, Emma. I feel like you need to choose yourself occasionally. Do not be a doormat to your mother. She has a mental illness. Obviously, she is not even attempting to be a good mother half of the time. You can protect your own sanity and your own peace by not engaging with your mom or setting boundaries. And she doesn't set boundaries at all with her mom. And instead she's like, I'm choosing empathy. I'm choosing, there could be any reason why this happened. But you need to set boundaries and protect yourself. And halfway into the book, that is not the case. She is just standing by this. I need to choose empathy over anger. Great, choose empathy over anger. I'm not saying you have to be angry, but you do have to set boundaries and protect yourself and not constantly engage with someone who is a danger to your mental health. You can't put yourself last all the time. So I don't agree, Emma, but she says that, and that line helps Justin kind of forgive his mom for embezzling and stuff like that. So he's less angry and is able to kind of make amends before she goes to jail, which is good. It's good because the way this book goes, for all I know, she's going to get a terminal illness and die in jail. I wouldn't be surprised, y'all. That's kind of the nature of the constant drama. Here's a funny quote, and this is Lee, Brad, Chad's mom, whatever. And this is when she gets wasted face with Justin's mom the night before she has to go to jail. And this was funny, okay? Lee says, good Lord, these hot flashes lets me know I can't go to hell because I cannot take the heat. Preach, lady. I'm in that perimenopause age where I'm getting the hot flashes every now and then, and I'm telling you, I'm not looking forward to full-blown menopause. So, preach, Lee. Emma does give Justin shit for just doing a forehead kiss. So she gives him a kiss on the forehead right before I decided I was done with the book. I was like, I'm over it. But she does say the line, I hear forehead kisses are all the rage, just to give them a mess. So I will say, right before I quit the book, they did finally kiss. It was closed-mouthed kiss, but it melted her legs, she said. And so we'll take it. I did cast the book, though. And I feel like even my casting was a bit sarcastic for this book. Emma is described as beautiful, brunette, girl next door looking, and Justin makes the comment that she looks like an actress playing a nurse more than she looks like an actual nurse. She's just so cute and so pretty. Perfect. My brain immediately cast Nina Dobrev from Vampire Diaries. And there was no turning back. I could not be swayed. That's what she is to me. And especially given the amount of drama, I'm going with Nina. Perfect. And then since my brain was already in the world of Vampire Diaries, and Justin is described as looking like the sweet, wholesome, football-playing boyfriend in a rom-com that the heroine dates and then breaks up with because they're going to separate colleges, and then she ends up meeting the love of her life and the true, hero of the story. He just looks like this wholesome, football-playing guy. I guess. That's his look. Boy next door type. So, I'm going with Zach Rohrig from Vampire Diaries. It's Matt. And he was Elena's sweet high school boyfriend that they broke up before she got with the Salvatore brothers and spurred the whole Vampire Diaries. So I think that tracks. Seems perfect. And again, I'm going to just end this with, I do not feel guilty for DNFing the book. I know a lot of people don't like it. And it's okay, even if it is the most popular book. If you don't like it, your opinion is valid. Your feelings are valid. I don't know if you need to hear that, but I'm here to tell you. Your opinions are totally valid. If you don't like something, you don't have to like it. You can just stop reading it. Nothing's going to happen for me not reading this book. I mean, the world's going to continue, hopefully. And that's it for this episode of Book Tease. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe, rate and review. Let me know if you like the book. I'm really curious. Did I miss anything? Should I have continued? What do you feel about DNFing a book? Is it like a hard no, or do you too feel like you shouldn't have to finish something if you're not enjoying it? I mean, life's too short for books you don't like or coffee that's gross. That's kind of how I feel, and I'm going to stand by it, but I am so interested to hear what everyone else has to say. So thank you so much, and until next time, stay spicy.
And that's it for this episode of Book Tease. Book and theme reveals and episode commentary can be found at TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Book Tease Pod. Theme music is by The Scraps, and until next time, stay spicy.